Welcome to our podcasts, Wise Black Nanas, Life Coaching Between the Dash. Hey, what do you do when it feels like life has thrown you a few too many challenges, knocked you down, in the bed, hard to talk about even with your best friend challenges, and it feels like the challenges are winning? Wouldn't it be nice to hear from your Nana? Or a stand-in Wise Black Nana? Well, they are Wise Black Nanas, Sharla Walker, PhD, and Joanne Early, MS, two mature women with over 70 plus years of combined coaching and mentoring, professional human resources, and business experience. The wonderful news is, these Wise Black Nanas are still living and learning about this amazing life, about resilience and grit, gratitude and appreciation, and the extraordinary power of love and friendships, being positive and supportive, and learning from others. Welcome to Wise Black Nanas. Let's listen in.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm Joanne Early, one half of Wise Black Nanas, and we talk about our views and our life experiences, issues that we have lived and are presently living. So I am so excited to welcome Dr. Sharla back. She's been in recuperating from a medical procedure. And so I've been flying solo a little bit. So she's back on the program, and I just want to say I'm so excited and so happy to have you back. And I want to thank all of our listeners for keeping her in your healing thoughts. So welcome back, Dr. Sharla.
Hey, I am back. The crazy one is back. I'm so thankful to God and to all the loving thoughts and prayers that were sent up to me to be back. Especially so glad that I have such a great partner at Joanne Early, who has just really she's been more than a sister. She's really helped us keep this Wise Black Nana thing together. So thank you, Joanne. I appreciate you. And on a special thank you for my granddaughter. I know she appreciates you. So I'm back and ready to go. And I wanted to share just a few little opportunities and of what I experienced on my medical journey. And hopefully they will open your eyes and maybe put some things in rolling around your household, or even just setting up some questions for you. Just if that's all that happens, that's what's happened. I won't go into the details and the dirty details or anything like that, but I will say that this is really important that we think about it, our medical journey and how it impacts us and how it impacts others.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Can't say it enough. Welcome back, girl. So, as a part of Dr. Charlotte's return to the program, we wanted to share with you, as she said, just a small portion of her medical journey that she's been on, and she kind of still is. And just like any travel experience, sometimes it just doesn't matter the level of planning or pre-thought you put into it. Something always kind of goes haywire or goes astray, and you get rerouted. So as we talked in an earlier episode, you get thrown a curveball. So we're trying to be true to the core values of this podcast. And again, with being authentic as we can, just appreciate Dr. Sharla in her willingness to share some of her experience with our listeners in the hopes that we can help others. So again, the name of this episode is Resilient, Renewed, and Moving Forward. And this absolutely applies, to having Dr. Sharla back, having her feeling good and looking good and just wanting to move forward.
I don't know about looking good, but anyway.
Well, this is a podcast, so guess what? Our audience can't see us, so we're both happy about that at times. So this whole process of being resilient or having resilience, it's a process and an outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences. And especially that adapting is through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility. So it refers to the ability to successfully adapt to all those stressors and maintaining a psychological well-being in the face of adversity. It's the ability to bounce back from difficult situations. And certainly a medical situation is one of those extreme stressors. So, guys, remember, resilience is not a trait that people are born with. It's not one of those things like the color of your hair that either you have it or you don't have it. It involves behaviors, thoughts, and actions that can be learned and developed in everyone. So, again, resilience is about being adaptable, it's about being flexible and recognizing that we've got strengths that maybe we didn't know we had until we had to use them. And like many things in life, the more we practice something, the more we learn and the better we get at it. Resilient people are able to adapt to stresses, crises, and trauma. They find ways to bounce back from ups and downs and all those things that life throws at us. Today, we're going to be talking a little more in depth with Dr. Sharla and asking her to, in her own words and as much as she wants to share with the audience, just how she would describe her circumstances around her health issue as it relates to resilience. And, kind of how does her resilient spirit bring her here today? And why does she think the health challenge that she faced has made her more resilient? Just talk a little bit about that. And then what's got her feeling renewed and really wanting to move forward. So that's going to be your job, your task for this episode. Starla, what do you think? You up to it?
Oh yeah, I can, if I can do what I've just gone through, I can do this.
And I have to admit, behind the scenes, I was in touch with Dr. Sharla's family quite a bit, talking with her wonderful granddaughter, Danielle, who was like the guard at the door. So I certainly know a lot more, about her situation. And again, I am just thankful that she is able to be back with us on the podcast, and she's willing to share more of her journey with everybody out there in podcast land. So, thinking about Dr. Charlotte, thinking about, being resilient and feeling renewed and able to move forward and what you kind of went through to get here. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you did to prepare your family, for not having you around? They're so used to you being in the leadership role and doing everything for everybody. How'd you prepare your family for what you were about to go through medically?
That's a great question, because I really, the last medical journey, was supposed to be a short one.
Mm-hmm.
1 day in, 2 days recovery and out. It turned into a little over 5 weeks. So, several different facilities. So, prior to that, I had prepared my trust and my will, not in anticipation of this particular thing, but just being prepared.
Yeah,
Like take the financial courses, being prepared, and do
right,
your estate planning and all that other kind of stuff.
right.
I did that. I did it all by myself. Um, the opportunity in that was that I didn't share what I was doing and what I was giving and how I was giving and the reason for my decisions. So that is something that I have to be resilient now and deal with now and
Mm-hmm.
make those changes, because I didn't think about
Mm-hmm.
the personal impact that they would have. I'm
Mhm.
just taking care of our business because I'm leader. I'm the leader of the family, and I'm just going to take care of business. All that does is open a paper, but
Mhm.
that's not true.
Mhm.
So I think a little bit more open mindedness in that regard of um, who to include, maybe not everybody, no,
No, not everybody.
not everybody, but certainly your legal guardian that
Mhm.
you're going to select or guardians that you're going to select should be involved in that process and go through the documents, the state documents and the will documents, um, and the financial documents, just to get an understanding of what's there
Yeah,
and what the
right.
responsibilities are. So I learned a lot by that was my opportunity of learning there.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
can't do it alone. So those of us who don't think we have anybody or we're not sure, all I can say is that we need to think in detail about that because it's easier to do now than to just leave it all later and it really becomes a mess. That's just from my experience.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Everybody do what they want. I had an actual round table with folks who are like, oh my God, what did I do? But like I said, it's an opportunity of learning when we are the leaders and we are assertive and we don't really know how to adapt our behaviors because we are in control
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
and nobody tells us what to do.
It's hard, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
hard to give that up, isn't
it's
it?
very, it's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the situations. Another situation that I think was an opportunity for me in this journey was the documents. There was so much paperwork, so much paperwork
Hmm.
that my advisor had to go through and I mean line by line. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean I don't remember any of it, but all I remember is probably later on. And it's just that's nothing that you can really prepare yourself for. Now everyone's gonna have a different level of participation or a different type of emergency,
Right. Right.
minor, major, maximum. So I just what bothered me are I didn't humble myself enough. I stayed, I tried to stay in my leader role and demand and tell people what to do. And in that kind of environment, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
I learned that after some time that it was easier to humble myself, go with the flow, um, whatever, if it didn't feel right, write it down, discuss it later with my legal guardian, and then she would handle it. I'm not used to that, but
Hmm.
that's the way things got done.
Hmm.
If not, they wouldn't get done. So I think the humbling of yourself, open mindset, and adapting my behavior. Like I'm
Hmm.
the leader, I'm gonna do this. You can't tell me what to do. And
Hmm.
it's very difficult, very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, it sounded like you had to step back some and let those
I had
that
to step back. I had to open my mind, and I had to had a conversation with my granddaughter, you know,
Only one conversation?
oh, we had lots of conversations, but this one was really where she decided she was going to be me and just say, Grandma, let me do what I need to do. Okay. And I said, all right, I release, I let go, and I just started doing what folks told me to do. Whether I did it 12 times before or whatever, I just started
Right,
doing it.
right.
Because as we all know, we're on our medical journey or whatever. There's lots of repetition. People don't know what other people have done. And so you do it over and over and over again. And
Mm-hmm,
I just got where it was fun.
mm-hmm,
It was
mm-hmm,
fun.
mm-hmm,
Um, so that's one adaptive behavior that I think that's important is just to be all right with letting go.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And after a while, it kind of felt good. I'll tell you, it kind of felt good that I didn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have, I didn't have to. Someone taking care of it after I got used to it. Now it took about 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm,
but it just my creative sides came out,
mm-hmm,
and you know I wrote lots of things down and things like that. But I think that was the biggest challenge for me is to humble myself
mm-hmm,
to understand the needs of others over mine.
mm-hmm. Wow, thank you, thank you. And I want to note that we're not, and I know, Dr. Sharla, I know you're not saying it, and I'm not saying it either. In any way, don't assert yourself and be assertive and, certainly help manage, because this is your business, your medical situation, help to manage that. But I think what I'm hearing you say is, at times we have to release and let others that, might be in a better position, might be more physically or mentally able at the time to make decisions for us. And then we have to do our part and help get our families prepared to step into those roles. I think that's, certainly indicative in what you related to us.
And I think that the fact that the opportunity to completely humble myself and move
Hmm.
away from everything, not have a
Right.
telephone, not have anything, gave me a different sight. I was able to see what my legal guardian could do, and she could do it all.
Hmm.
Um, so I think there was peace in that,
Hmm.
knowing that she didn't need me. I mean, kind of hurt, but not grandma. Yeah. Anyway, but she didn't need me. She really took care of things. She had listened to what I had said. Everything was just on point. Um,
Yeah, I have to second that as an outsider because she certainly kept me informed and was very knowledgeable and upfront and honest and just told it like it was. So I appreciate her so much, and I certainly got to know her,
mhm.
a lot better in some of the conversations that we had. And so if you want somebody, um, kind of answering for you and making decisions for you, she's definitely the one. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would
and,
agree with that one.
and I would just note that training doesn't come with it. Nobody told me I need to train her or show her or
Mm-mm.
anyone else. So that's something else that we should think about is not
Oh,
train formally, but just showing people what they're getting themselves into so they can either opt out, whatever. So
yep, yep. Huh, that's a topic for another episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Topic for another episode. Uh, Dr. Charlotte, how did you go about just dealing with the medical uncertainty? Like you're saying, you entered into this thinking, okay, this is a few days, I'll be back home. And you were basically away from home, would you say 5 weeks?
Almost 6, yeah.
Almost 6 weeks.
It was extremely difficult. Um, um, I think the last adventure, especially the second, I don't remember what the first 2 weeks were.
Hmm.
I can't fathom that, and it was just in a way it was kind of humiliating to me because I didn't know what's going on, and I
Hmm.
should have known what's going on, but I didn't need to know what's going on. If that makes sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
I had so many nurses, and then they have, we have our HR talk. How we walk up to each other, and we're maybe back to back or side to side, and we're kind of whispering about what's going on with somebody. Well,
Hmm.
you see that in the hospital. They call that medical talk. They walk in the side to side and they're talking, and you're asking questions, and they say, "Oh, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. We'll let you know," and then they don't let you know. Um, that was frustrating. But other than that, I can say overall that the care that I received was excellent. I was in an excellent facility, all
Hmm.
three.
Right.
Um, so I can't complain about that at all. The issue with me, just restless, ready to, like, I wanted to go, and I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready, but I wasn't ready, and I
Hmm.
had to surrender to that. So that's what I've done.
Yeah, so it sounds like for you, a lot of it was, just loss of your ability to kind of know what was going on and to make choices and decisions for yourself, just, complete loss of control, you know.
Yeah, control was the biggest thing because that's what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
What I
I
do.
know, I know you had mentioned to me that you felt like a number,
Yeah,
which we all have, most of us have some kind of medical ID or medical number, that we have assigned to us. So I'm thinking it wasn't so much a concept that you weren't used to, but how was that different? Um, how was that different?
I think at the first and second facility, they depended a lot on the waistband and numbers on the waistband for everything. You know, um, so every time they touch me or whatever, it's like, give me an arm, give me an arm. So that's where I really felt like, I'm just a number. But the
Um,
last facility, they actually cut that off, and they didn't monitor by weight, your
mhm, mhm,
waistlet, excuse me, not waistlet, but the bracelet. And I felt more like a human being than a number at that
mhm.
facility.
Okay.
And the care was different,
Mhm,
and the people were a little bit different, a little nicer, more humane. So I think that helped me with my change in attitude, with
mhm.
me changing, uh, being intent on, you know, I'm moving forward. I got to move forward. I can't move back. There's no
Right,
room for me to move back. I got
right,
to move forward.
right.
That's just what I made of. And so I think that was kind of balance for me.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah, I can only imagine, again, just feeling like I'm just a number, and here it didn't feel personal, didn't feel, so much. You're just time for your meds or time for your shot or time for this, and very little personal kind of interaction and going back and forth.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Um, one of the things that always jumps out at me, and I can't tell you how many times I've experienced it in my own family and or friends or whatever, where we do not take care of our business, get our medical, get our insurance, our beneficiaries, our all of those that stuff. We do not get that stuff together. We're just really hesitant to do that. And I just want you to speak just a little bit about how important it is that at least have those documents, have them
Yeah.
updated, and don't procrastinate. It's something that needs to happen. Advanced directives, advanced health directives.
Yeah.
Um, they're not pleasant to fill out, and they're not fun to fill out, and
No.
it's not an exciting, document that you can't wait to start working on. But it is so necessary and so needed. I wonder if you could just
Yeah, as I said, I had my state, my will, and my medical declaration all done when I moved to Texas. Because I wasn't done in California, so I had Texas is totally different, and everything is filed in with the government here. So,
yeah, that is different.
yeah, everything is they even file the deed to your house and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was so important that I made sure that if you have a safe, you need to let the legal um, guardian know where the safe is,
Mm-hmm.
what the key is to the safe, or what the lock, or
Right.
what's the um, what's the number? The numbers are to get into the safe.
The combination.
Thank you. Combination is to the safe.
Right.
It does no good if they have the keys and they can't get into the combination.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I showed all this to my potential, but they weren't paying attention because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So where the keys were in one place, safe is in another place, and all my documents are in the safe,
Mm.
except financial documents. And I didn't realize that until just now. but, uh, but just keeping that, and then with your financial documents, you have to think about all your different passwords that you have.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh,
I mean, for everything. I
right.
mean, even for our websites, while I was gone, they expired, so I had to talk Danielle into how to extend our websites for Wise
Mm-hmm.
Black Nana and different
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it's just you think you've done it all by just doing your will, your trust, and whatever, and you put it in a safe.
Mm-hmm.
But what's most important, as I said earlier, is sitting down with those individuals and taking them through it. Take
Yes.
them through, like, okay, you're going to get the house, and this is what this means. A mortgage comes with the house, or a mortgage does not come with the house.
Right.
Insurance comes with the house. Those kind of things, I don't think that we really tell our person that may happen. Okay.
Yeah, a
And
lot of us don't. A
yeah,
lot of us
and the state
don't.
of Georgia, excuse me, the state of Texas has a whole different set of guidelines for beneficiaries.
Oh,
So all
interesting.
that's in with my will. So it's so important. I know most of us don't live in Texas, but it's so important that we have those uncomfortable, mindful openness conversations, once a year, once every couple of years, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think what's most important too is to check for your beneficiaries
Gosh,
because
yeah.
you know sometimes we haven't changed them for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't realize that they haven't been changed because some may have passed and go like, who is this person?
Right.
So
Right.
it sounds minute, but it could hang up a check for a couple of months if you really need it.
Or longer,
Or longer,
or
yeah.
longer than that if you can't produce the, the right, I guess, support that you have a right to even be inquiring about,
Right,
about those benefits or whatever.
right.
I, oh man, you've heard lots of my stories, and definitely. There are many, many of our family members that just, won't take care of their business. And then sometimes, when we have to take care of it for them, we're running around trying to figure things out. And it just causes so much more angst and
Right.
just, sometimes you get downright mad, you really do, because it's like, why in the heck? I really thought XX was way on more on top of their business than they were. And
Or you think someone has something and they don't have anything, and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
okay, well, where do
yeah,
we go here? We start from square one. But yeah,
right, right,
um,
right,
it's both a learning opportunity on both sides.
right.
You'll learn what might not agree, your beneficiaries might not agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you might say, well, they don't agree with it, but this is my preference. So,
Yeah,
just they
yeah,
have an understanding. So
right, right.
this, I think it's just so much information. And this is just part of it. It's not all of it. This is just part of it. The financial, this doesn't even cover all the documents at, at insurance documents and if you have enough coverage, if you don't have enough coverage, you have a secondary or third,
Hmm.
it could be overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming. It's very
And
overwhelming, which really, wouldn't you say that that's why it's a good idea? Maybe put it in chunks. Do a part at a time. Do a chunk of it, a chunk of it, and don't try to take on the whole thing. Just,
I think
parcel it
that
out.
one of the easiest things to do is to look at your life insurance policy and see who the beneficiaries are. If they're wrong, then you send a letter and you can correct them all at one time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that probably is a key thing that is not
and that's
that
what we're
hard
gonna
to do, really.
right.
if we would just take the time to actually do it and think about, okay, this is saving someone a lot of grief down the road,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of grief down the road. Um, let's make it easier versus more difficult in a already difficult situation.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a difficult situation either way you look at it.
Yes.
Even like I said, my journey was only supposed to be 3, 4 days and turned out to be almost 6 weeks. And
Yeah.
um, but I learned a lot about myself, what I could do, how resilient I was, and how I could let go. The longer I stayed, the easier it was to let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's very hard for someone who is the lead of the family and do that. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm still doing it. I'm still working on it. So
Well, I have a feeling that that lead of the family role you're going to continue in. You're just going to get stronger and stronger in that role. But I also would think that, based on the experience that you've had, that your family has learned a lot. And as you've said, you've also learned a lot.
mhm.
And we're just hopeful that, our listeners can learn some things. or here, we always say here, one thing that will, cause you to take some action. Um, so unless you have something else to say around, being resilient, feeling renewed and ready to move forward, I just, thank you for sharing, just a piece of what you went through, and what you're still going through in an effort to help our audience, kind of grow and develop their resilience also.
Yeah, and that's what our program is about. It's about real time experience. And this
Yeah,
was unexpected, unknown, and real time. So
absolutely.
um, I'm thankful that I'm here to share all of this. And I think you had some websites that you wanted to share.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Thank you. Thank you. So again, just a little bit on, ways to become more resilient. I think you heard Dr. Charlotte touch on many of these things, as she was sharing with us. So again, resilience isn't about toughing it out, or reacting to every setback with a smile, because that just isn't real and it doesn't happen. And sometimes you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel angry or frustrated when you're faced with a setback, especially a medical issue. And then the key is to think about finding ways to move forward, to tackle challenges with creativity, hope, and certainly with a positive attitude. So just as we always are trying to do a little bit of research, I found on the U.S. Department of State, they have a wonderful website, and on one of their pages, they had a whole piece on developing and growing stronger resistance. And so I'll just share quickly with you what some of those things are and encourage you to take a look at it yourself. So first thing is maintaining a sense of perspective, and just asking yourself, how big is this problem really? And what do I need to do? So keep perspective. Recognize that you have a choice in how you handle challenges. Dr. Sharla certainly related lots of opportunities that she recognized. I could keep being resistant, or I can step back and release and let others. Accept change. Change is constant. We know if anything's going to happen, it's going to be change. It's going to be change. And with change comes a certain amount of uncertainty that we all deal with. So we can anticipate challenges by focusing on positive ways and positivity. We can learn how to calm ourselves, using the deep breathing and using calm apps um, that will replace some of the negative thoughts that somehow creep right on in. We can overcome our fears. Fear of this, fear of letting go, fear of no longer being in control, fear of once being viewed as a leader in the family or in your workplace. And no, you're thinking that that's not going to continue. We can let go of our anger. Anger just overrules us so many times, and it causes us to make sometimes the inappropriate or wrong choices that we later think, I'm probably shouldn't have done that. So let's let go of our anger. Take action. We've talked about that a lot. Just don't just dwell on problems. Think about solutions instead, and just try to figure out, what you can do. Put it in chunks. Deal with it a little bit at a time, one step at a time. You look up and you're at the top of the staircase. And then when you can, laugh as much as you can. Sometimes when it just seems like everything is gone to HELL and in a handbasket, just try to laugh. Um, if it's something funny that you can read, or a movie, or something that makes you laugh, just try to do that, because nothing beats that deep gut laughter that just helps you look at things a whole lot different. So if you can, none of these things cost any money. They're all within our ability to do. They're easy to do if we just would take the time, and think about instead of, um, going to a place that's going to just bring us more grief and set us back even farther. If we could just stop for just a moment, and if we need to laugh out loud, and see if that doesn't help us maintain just a little different perspective. And as we always say, and we say always on this program, when we really mean it, if you can't do all the things that you need to do to get your paperwork in order, or to even find out what paperwork you need, your financial documents, pay for some professional help. There's wonderful professionals out there that know all of this stuff. Your healthcare provider has all kind of information on their websites, just waiting for you to find them. And lots of times you can download forms and documents that you need. So there's a lot of help out there. We just have to seek it out. We just have to seek it out. So again, we want to remember Dr. Sharla's experience and her words, and certainly moving forward in future shows, I'm hoping that she will share, additional insight with us. We so appreciate her being back and being able to share, or just start to share, a part of her medical journey with us. So that's our episode 15 for today, Resilient, Renewed, and Moving Forward. So on behalf of Dr. Sharla and myself, we hope you've gained even one insight or heard something that inspires you to learn more, to do something, and to take action. And we say this on every podcast. We know these episodes are not for everybody, and it is for a lot of somebodies. So we leave you with a little quote or a saying or a comment, and we call those Nanaisms. We go out looking for those. And this time, the Nanaism is a quote from Denzel Washington. And we'd like to credit Dr. Sharla's great-grandson for recommending that we use this Nanaism in our podcast. And Denzel said, "Without commitment, you'll never start. Without consistency, you'll never finish." So again, that's our episode 15. Thank you, and take care. Please keep listening, and
Thank you.
please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a comment on our Facebook. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Wise Black Nanas. New programs of Wise Black Nanas are on the 1st and 15th of each month. Listen in as you learn more about Wise Black Nanas, Dr. Sharla Walker and Joanne Early. They are everyday nanas. They are not famous, not celebrities or rich, well, rich in life and its experiences. We want you to come back. Tell your friends. So, look for Wise Black Nanas podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Learn more about them and the coaching services they offer at www.wiseblacknanas.com.